Next problems here. Determine the dimensions of bearing and journal to support a load of 1000 kilonewton at 450 rpm. See, at the beginning only they told that determine the dimensions of bearing and journal. So if you want to design a bearing and the journal, we required diameter of the bearing, diameter of the journal, and the length of the bearing. Those are the dimensions of the bearing. So we have to calculate capital D, we have to calculate small d, and we have to calculate length. And sure. So that was the dimensions we are going to calculate. To calculate that, they told that some load is acting, that is 1000 kilonewton, and it is rotating, the journal is rotating at a speed of 450 rpm. Therefore, load acting is equal to 1000 newton. Load acting is equal to 1000 newton. Speed is equal to 450 rpm. Next, they told that using hardened steel journal and bronze backed Babbitt bearing. Here they told that the journal is made up of hardened steel and the bearing is made up of bronze backed Babbitt. So here they given the material for the journal and the bearing. Next, they told that the oil used as the specific gravity of 0.9 at 15.5 degree Celsius. So the oil has a specific gravity of 0.9 at 15.5 degrees Celsius. Therefore, gamma, that is specific gravity at 15.5, is equal to 0.9. Next, they told that and viscosity of 9 centistroke at 82 degrees Celsius. So they have given viscosity in centistrokes. And should here at what temperature? 82 degree Celsius. Therefore, T naught is equal to 82 degree Celsius. And should. Next, allows a clearance of 0.03 mm per centimeter diameter. So always clearance is represented by C, that is equal to 0.03 mm per is nothing but divided by centimeter diameter. So now we are going to convert this centimeter into mm and sure. Then we will get 10 to the power of 1. If I shift the 10 to the power of 1 towards numerator, then it will become 10 to the power of -1. Then we will get 0.003 mm per mm diameter. Now converted into centimeter into mm. Next, also find the rate of heat generated. So we have to calculate two unknowns here. So we have to calculate the dimensions of the bearing and journal, and we have to calculate the rate of heat generated. And sure. So before calculating, so same thing here we have to calculate. First, diametrical clearance ratio. Always the diametrical clearance ratio psi is equal to C divided by D. Now if you see here, that is nothing but directly we can take that is 0.003 mm per mm diameter, that is nothing but xi, C divided by D is equal to 0.003. Now xi is over. Next we have to calculate viscosity of an oil, that is nothing but absolute viscosity. Neta we are going to calculate. Here they given viscosity in centistroke, but we have to calculate it in pass. So to calculate that, they have given here gamma at 0.9. So yesterday we have solved one problem in the same procedure. First we are going to take the specific weight at the operating temperature. Gamma T is equal to gamma at 1.5, that is specific gravity at 15.5 minus 0.000637 into T minus 15.5. So substitute gamma at 15.5, they have given in the question 0.9, and at the operating temperature T naught is equal to 8 to T, we will get gamma T, specific gravity at operating temperature. Next, we are going to calculate, so this is the final formula to calculate the neta. Here, now we have calculated gamma T. Now we are going to calculate T, that is nothing but Seaborn seconds, by using kinematic viscosity 9 centistroke and operating temperature 82. See, when they have given in centistroke, it is kinematic viscosity, not absolute viscosity. Always we are going to substitute absolute viscosity. Now we are going to calculate absolute viscosity by using kinematic viscosity and operating temperature by using the figure. Now that is time. Now we are going to calculate time by using the kinematic viscosity and T naught. Now if you see the figure 5.3, 24.3, here x-axis is temperature, y-axis is T, Seaborg seconds, and here another on another side we are having kinematic viscosity. Now they have given kinematic viscosity is equal to 9. If you see here 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is here, and we are having the operating temperature as 82 degrees Celsius. Now somewhere here we will get 82 degree and 9 is here. If I go like this, until it touches the 9, so somewhere it will touch here 9. And sure. Now on the here we are having the time. Now we are going to calculate time. Once it touches 9 here, now come towards left side. So exactly we will get 55. And sure, viscosity in Seaborg second we will get as 55 seconds. Therefore, we will get T is equal to 55. Once you get T, substitute here. Now we are going to take this formula. Neta 1 is equal to gamma T 0.22 T minus 180 by T. Substitute gamma T. Here you have calculated. T you got here. Substitute and calculate the absolute viscosity after simplification. You will get 7.57 into 10 to the power of minus 3 pass. So this is very important to calculate the absolute viscosity. In the previous problem, in the yesterday problem, we have calculated absolute, that is we have calculated T by using Seaborg seconds. By using Seaborg second, that is nothing but they have given this value and temperature. Now by using that we have calculated the time. First we have calculated which is the curve we will get. Based on the curve and based upon the operating temperature we have calculated the time. But here in this problem they have given the kinematic viscosity and operating temperature. By using these two we have calculated the Seaborg seconds. Then we are going to substitute in the formula. Then we are calculating the absolute viscosity. This is one method of calculating the absolute viscosity. There are another two methods you can use. You can refer any one method. Better go for this method to calculation of absolute viscosity. Now we got the absolute viscosity. Now here another thing, in the question that even journal material is hardened steel and bearing material is bronze, baguette material. Now by using these two materials we are going to take the bearing modulus. I'm sure. Now from the table 24.7 for hardened steel shaft and Babbitt bearing modulus S double dash. Always bearing modulus is represented by S double dash. We will get from this table for this material hardened steel and Babbitt bearing modulus S double dash is equal to 48.5 into 10 to the power of minus 9. This is constant for hardened steel and bearing Babbitt bearing. So these are the things we are going to calculate before we are going to calculate the dimensions. One is Xi, another one is absolute viscosity, and another one we required is bearing modulus. Now we are going to take the first step, dimensions of bearing and journal. Now as neta n dash by p, already I told that this is nothing but bearing characteristic number or bearing modulus. In the theory we have discussed, this is one of the dimensional number. Neta n dash by p should be about 3 times the bearing modulus. That condition we are going to consider here. And sure, by taking this condition, neta n dash by p is 3 times the bearing modulus, that is greater than or equal to 3 times of S double dash. Bearing modulus is nothing but S double dash. 3 into that value, S double dash. Now sure. Now substitute neta value. N dash is nothing but N divided by 60 divided by P, keep as it is, greater than or equal to 3 into that value. Now simplify this one. you will get after simplification 0.58725 divided by p greater than or equal to 3 into this value. And sure, now you cross multiply p this side and 3 into 45 towards LHS, then we will get 0.4036 into 10 to the power of 6 greater than or equal to p. Now we know the value of P, the formula is equal to W divided by L into D. Pressure is equal to load by area, load divided by L into D. Now load they given in the question, but we don't know L and D. Therefore, we are assuming here length is equal to diameter. In the question, they are not given anything related to length and diameter. So therefore, we are assuming length is equal to D. Then we will get D square. Once you get D square, simplify. That is nothing but cross multiply D square here, this value towards RHS, simplify and apply square, then we will get D greater than or equal to 0.0498 meters. Now we can create greater than or we can take equal. Now I am going to take the value greater than this value. Therefore, it is approximately equal to 50. Therefore, I am going to take D is equal to 0.05 meter. That is nothing but diameter of the journal. That is 50 mm. Then here we assume that L is equal to D. Therefore, L is also equal to 0.05 meter. That is equal to 50 mm. That is nothing but length of the bearing. Next, diameter of the bearing. That is nothing but diameter of the bearing. Capital D is equal to D plus C. D you know, that is diameter of the journal 50 plus C is nothing but 0.003. Then we will get diameter of the bearing, that is 50.15 mm. So first we are going to take, that is eta n dash by p is greater than or equal to 3 times of bearing number. By you taking this condition, we are going to calculate the dimensions L and D. That is dimension of the journal, length of the bearing and diameter of the bearing. So once we have calculated the dimensions, they told you to find out the rate of heat generated. So we are going to calculate Hg. We know the formula. Hg is equal to mu into P into L into D into V. Or we can take it as PLD is nothing but W. That is nothing but mu into W into. But here we know W, we can calculate V, but again mu is unknown. So according to the McKay's equation, we are going to calculate mu. So mu is equal to Ka eta n dash by P 1 by Z 10 to the power of minus 10 plus delta mu. So Ka is constant, delta mu is constant, that is 1.5 into 10 to the power of 11. Delta mu is equal to 0.002. And bearing P we have to calculate. P is equal to W by L into D. Calculate P, substitute everything here and calculate mu. So after simplification, we will get mu is equal to 2.954 into 10 to the power of minus. Another unknown is B. B is equal to pi d n divided by 60 in meters. Now substituting everything Ka, that is nothing but mu, W, V, then we can calculate heat generated. So therefore, finally we will get, after substituting mu, W, V, we will get Hg is equal to 3.48 watts. So in this way, we are going to calculate the dimensions and the heat generated. So we will go to next problem. See here, this is also same problem, that is determine the dimensions of the bearing and the journal. So here also we are going to calculate the dimensions. So here in order to support a load of 5.5 kilonewton at 1000 rpm. So in order to support a load of 7.5 kilonewton at a speed of 1000 rpm, what is the dimension of the bearing and the journal? We are going to calculate. And so therefore they have given load is equal to 7.5 kilonewton. We are converted into Newton, then we will get 7,500 Newton. And speed small n is equal to 1000 rpm. Next, they told that the journal is made up of hardened steel and the bearing is made up of beveled material. Same thing. Abundance of oil is supplied by a oil ring. So already here the oil is supplied by using the oil rings. And they told that the oil viscosity is 300 Seaborn seconds at 40 degrees Celsius. So here in previous problem they given kinematic viscosity and temperature. You have calculated the time. Now here they have given seconds, that is viscosity in Seaborn seconds. 40 degrees Celsius. By using this, we are going to calculate the viscosity, absolute viscosity. Next, specific, they have given specific gravity is 0.955 at 15.5 degrees Celsius. Full stop. The operating temperature of oil is 75 degrees Celsius. Allows a clearance of 0.001 mm per mm diameter. So here clearance is equal to, both they have given in mm only. Full stop. Also find the minimum film thickness and oil flow rate. Sure. So here they have given first W, they have given load, speed they have given, and viscosity is equal to 300 Sebald seconds at 40 degrees Celsius, and operating temperature is equal to 75 degrees Celsius. Clearance is equal to 0.001 mm per mm diameter, both are in mm, and gamma at 15.5 is equal to 0.915, and general material is iron steel and Babbitt material is, bearing material is Babbitt. So this is the data which I have given. Now same procedure, first we will calculate Xi. Xi is equal to C divided by C. So here we are having C divided by C, that is nothing but 0.001. Now this is the formula to calculate absolute viscosity. Here unknown is gamma T, specific gravity at operating temperature, and T is the, where T is nothing but Sebald seconds at operating temperature. Sure. Now we are going to calculate gamma T at operating temperature. That formula is gamma 1.5 minus 0.000637 T minus 1.5. So substitute gamma 15.5, they given in the question, that is 0.915 minus this. T is nothing but operating temperature. Sure. So in the question they have given operating temperature is 75 minus 1. Why we have to substitute operating temperature means we are calculating gamma at operating temperature. So we will get gamma at operating temperature, specific gravity. Next here another, now specific gravity at operating temperature we got, but another unknown is T, where T is nothing but Sebald seconds at 75 degrees Celsius. Here in the question they have given Sebald second at 40 degrees Celsius, but we required this is T at operating temperature 75 degrees Celsius. Now we have to calculate this Sebald second at 75 degrees Celsius. For that, same we are going to refer the figure number 24.3. So once you go to the figure number 24.3, now first we have to see here. See here they have given, first here they have given 300 Sebald second at 40 degrees Celsius. Now if you see 300, so here we are having 100, 200, 300. Now 40 degree. So here we are having 40 degree. If you come like this 40 and up to 300, you will get somewhere here. Sure. Here that is A, B, C, D. Again E. So if you come 40 degree upward direction and if you see 300, it touch with the D curve. That is D line, or it is touching with the 40. If you come like this 300, it is touching here. See this curve, that is A, B, C, D, E curve. That is whatever the inclined line is there, E inclined line. For that E inclined line, it is touching, that is 340 degree is intersecting at E. Unsure. Now for same E, we are going to take for operating temperatures here. For 300 Sebald seconds at 40 degree, the oil we got is E. Now from the same figure, for E at 75 degrees Celsius, now 75 degrees Celsius, 75 will get in between 78, 80, go upward direction until it touches E. Now E is nothing but fifth one. E somewhere it will touch here for 75. Now it is intersecting with the E inclined line. Now we have to come towards left side like this. So some in between we will get 6, that is 80 to 90 T. Therefore they have taken here T is equal to 80 degree. So here you have to see like this 60 that is 70, 80. In between you will get 75. You have to go until it touches E. Why means previously we got the curve is E, somewhere it will touch like this, and we have to come towards left side. Then we will get the time, that is T at operating temperature, that is nothing but 80. Once you got the T, substitute here, substitute sigma T, then we can able to calculate absolute viscosity in centipoise. Always remember, whatever the absolute viscosity you will get by using the formula, it is in centipoise. Again we have to do into 10 to the power of -3, then we will get in pass. Always remember, we have to substitute absolute viscosity in pass. And sure, now once you will get now the absolute viscosity, then remaining same procedure here in previous problem how you have calculated. So we are going to take dimensions of the bearing and the journal, as neta n dash by p should be about 3 times the bearing modulus. Neta n dash by p is greater than or equal to 3 into bearing modulus. So since for same thing, since the journal and the bearing is made up of same material, we will get bearing modulus is 48.5 into 10 to the power of -9. Then substitute neta n dash, keep p as it is. Next, write p in the form of w by l into d. Then assume l is equal to d. Then we will get the diameter d, l, and d. And same remaining same procedure. So here important thing is in this problem the calculation of neta. So in previous problem you have calculated neta by using the kinematic viscosity and operating temperature. Here you are calculating neta by using the Sabot second and 40 degree. Again we are going to calculate time for the operating temperature. That is the difference. In remaining same procedure, calculation of dimensions of the journal and bearing. So after calculating the dimensions, here again they told you to find out minimum film thickness and oil flow rate. So next, in the next problem, I will tell how to find out minimum film thickness, how to calculate minimum film thickness and oil flow rate. That also same procedure. So this is one type of problem, how to calculate neta and how to calculate the dimensions of the bearings and journal, and the remaining unknowns whatever they will give. They can give calculate mu, calculate hg, or calculate hd, or calculate minimum film thickness, oil flow rate. That is remaining question they will give. And sure, so here this is next type of second type of problem, to calculate neta and to calculate the dimensions of the bearing and the journal. Any doubt here?
No, sir.
So next, what are the things we have seen previously? It is first type and second type of problems. Now we will go for third type of problem, that is complete design of journal and bearing used for some application. They will give application. For that application, we are going to design the journal and the bearing. So we are going to calculate the dimensions of the bearing. We are going to calculate viscosity. Then we are going to calculate heat generated. We are going to calculate heat dissipated, or oil film thickness, whether artificial cooling is required or not. Everything complete design we are going to do for journal and bearing used for particular application. And sure, so this is next type of problem, complete design. So here they told that here design the main bearing for stationary low speed steam engine. Now they told that design a bearing for a stationary low speed steam engines. So now we are going to design bearing which is used for the low speed steam engines. And sure, for that they have given some data. Journal diameter is equal to 200 mm. Maximum load on the piston is equal to 80 kN. Engine speed is equal to 200 rpm. This is the three data they will give. So they have given load is equal to 80 kN. Convert into Newton, 80 into 10 to the power of 3 Newton. Then journal diameter small is equal to 200 mm. Convert into meter, 0.2 meter. Next, speed is equal to 200. Now we are going to refer the table number 24.2. by using this table number 24.2, we are going to take some input based upon the application what they have given. Now here we are going to design the bearing for low speed steam engine. This is the application. Now we are going to refer the table number 24.2. If you see the table number 24.2, see this is the table number 24.2, journal bearing design particulars practices. Now here we are having in the first column machineries, second column bearing, third column maximum pressure, fourth column diametrical clearance ratio, fifth column ratio L by D, then viscosity, bearing modulus S double dash. Now first we have to see in the first column for which application we are going to design a bearing. Now here in the question they get told that you are going to design a bearing for stationary slow speed steam engine. Now see first column where we are having that application. See if you see here we are having in the fifth row we are having stationary slow speed steam engines. And sure, so now we got that application. For next is nothing but bearing. Now we have to take second one. Here we are having three options: mine, crank pin, bristol pin. So always we have to go for mine only. Second column. Next in the third column, maximum pressure P. For this mine, we are having maximum pressure P is equal to 1.66. See here they have taken. So you can see here. See maximum pressure P is equal to stationary, that is 2.75. Stationary slow speed steam engines, mine, next 2.75, that is P max. Next fourth column is diametrical clearance ratio. Directly we can take Xi is equal to C by D is equal to less than 0.001, less than 0.001. Next we are having ratio L by D is equal to 1 to 2. L by D is equal to, here L by D is equal to 1 to 2. All the things you have to write down. Next viscosity, see in centiparts, in pass. Sure. So mine, how much we are having? 60 into 10 to the power of minus 3 pass. That is nothing but neta. See here 60 into 10 to the power of minus 3 pass. Next bearing modulus S double dash. And sure, H double dash. So we are going to take 48.4. Always we have to refer SI units. And sure, 48.4. So we will get 48.4 into here into 10 to the power of minus. Now to multiply by 10 to the power of minus 9. 48.4 into 10 to the power of minus 9. Now this is very important. Note downing all these parameters based upon the application they have given from the table number 24.2. After taking all the properties, now we have taken Pmax, Xi, ratio, absolute viscosity and bearing modulus. This is the first step we are going to take from the table number 14 point, that is from 24 point. Next is design. Now here they have given Pmax pressure. We got Pmax is equal to 2.75 MPa, or it is in Newton per meter square. We can take in Newton per meter square, that is 2.75 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton per meter square. And sure, that also they have given here 2.75 into 10 to the power of minus. And should it is in MPa, we are converting that into Newton per meter square, then you will get 10 to the power of 6. So here we can take value that is 2.75, or we can take less than that value or equal to that value. So that's why here I am going to select the allowable pressure. P is equal to, so here they have given maximum pressure. This is the maximum pressure that bearing can withstand. But for designing, always we are going to select the allowable pressure. And sure. So therefore, we are going to take the lesser value which is lesser value than Pmax. So we are taking allowable pressure is equal to 2 MPa. So again 2 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton per meter. So again we are converting in the form of meters. We will get 2 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton per meter. Now we are going to take the formula P is equal to W by LD. Substitute P, substitute W. Now here we are having, see here they have given L by D is equal to 1 to 2. Right, L by D is equal to 1 to 2, and also in the question they have given diameter is equal to 0.2 meters. Substitute 0 L into 0, then we can calculate L. So we got L is equal to 0.2 meters, again 200 mm. Now you do the ratio, L by D is equal to 200 divided by 200, we will get 1. So whatever the 1 we will get, see it is in here we got in between 1 to 2, right? Therefore, the selected pressure is right, or it is within the recommended value. And sure, like this we are going to find out the ratio or whether the selected allowable pressure is right or not. Now we got the ratio L by D is within what we got from the table 24.2, 1 to 2. We got 1. So therefore, L is equal to 200 and M is equal to 200 mm. And sure, so this is the finish up finding the ratio L by D and finding the length of the bearing. Next is we are going to selection of the oil. And sure, selection of the oil. Here they are not given the operating temperature. We are going to assume the operating temperature. Within. So here selection of oil. Here since they not given